Hello everyone, I'm Daniel from IGN, and today I'm joined by Paul Croft, who is the director of Foul Play. Hello.
Hello everyone.
So what we're going to be seeing today?
So I am going to show you a little bit of Foul Play, the perilous and entirely accurate adventures of Baron Dashforth. It's a side-scrolling beat-em-up set entirely within the confines of a vaudevillian stage show.
Okay, you've got me interested. So here are the two characters. Can you just talk me through the two of them?
Yeah, so Baron Dashforth is a demon hunter, a demonologist, and that's a... so the whole game's set in the 1920s.
Okay.
He's a demonologist, which is quite an illustrious profession in the time. And Baron Dashforth is probably the most famous demonologist of them all. He's been around the world, had countless adventures, but no one really knows the details of his life. It's somewhat shrouded in mystery. Okay. And Foul Play is... for one night only, him putting on a stage show in London to tell the story of his life and reveal the story of his life to the public.
Okay, cool.
So no one really knows quite why he's putting on the show, because so far he's been fairly secretive about his profession. But that's how the game opens. And then in the game, there's a number of different plays, and each play takes part at a different time in the Baron's life when he's recounting an incident or a story.
So it's divided into like a classical kind of theatrical structure. So you've got 5 acts. Is that right?
That's right, yeah. So there's five plays, and in each play there's 5 acts. And each play takes part at a different time in the Baron's life.
Right, cool. So where are we starting from? Are we starting from the very beginning? Or
we are starting from the very beginning in Cairo.
So it's drawing on a lot, I guess, of late Victorian kind of Edwardian literature.
Yes, we have tried to pack in as much.
Because I saw the game a few months ago, and it was like a greatest hits of all the stuff that I used to read as a kid, like Jules Verne, H. Rider Haggard, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, we're big fans of that. So there's quite a lot of, say, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea or Village of the Damned, that kind of thing. So
there was some of the Baron's kind of previous encounters hung on the wall.
That's right. Yeah. So every play opens in the Baron's study, with him giving a bit of background on this particular adventure to the audience.
So we can see like the characters are illuminated by a spotlight. So do you use a lot of those kind of stage conventions throughout the game?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we've really tried to play that up. So all of the backgrounds change in and out as if they would in a theatre. You've got the audience in front of you the whole time.
So does the audience get quite involved with actual gameplay at all?
Yeah, they do, yeah. So later on in the game, the audience... Essentially, the game's all about playing to the audience and their whims. Actually, we should just swap controls so you can be Dashforth. So they'll ask you to do different things.
Okay.
And if you do them, then it will make them happy.
So I'm the Baron and you're his sidekick?
Yes, I am Scampwick, the chimney sweep.
How do they differ as characters to play?
So the combat's fairly similar. Scampwick has a long pole, so his moves have a little bit more range than the Baron. Cool, so in terms of combat, let me just explain the basic controls. X is your kind of horizontal attack.
Okay.
Y is your vertical attack, which will lift enemies into the air.
All right.
And you can string those together in any combination to create chains of moves.
And you can launch them into the air as well?
Yeah, that's right. So Y is the launcher, that sends them up, and X is the horizontal attack.
Get ahead!
So what's that meter at the top?
So the game itself, or the principle behind the game, is all about keeping the audience entertained. So unlike a traditional side-scrolling brawler, there's no health bars. We as characters can't die, essentially. The game is all about how the audience feel about your performance on stage. So when you're stringing combos together, doing great chain attacks, keeping the action going on stage, essentially, the audience get excited. And if the audience get bored or they are unimpressed with your performance, they will boo you off the stage, and that's how you lose the game. So the next big part of the combat is parrying or countering. So sometimes you'll see little lightning bolts above someone's head, which is kind of a stage cue. It means they're going to attack you. At that point, you can press B to grab them, and then from that, string into any number of different
Right,
moves.
okay. So what's important to realise here, we're not actually moving right at all. It's like the illusion of moving. Is that right? Because the scenery is constantly changing, isn't it?
That's right, yeah. We played a lot, actually, at the start when we were developing the game of whether to keep the players stationary and just move the background, or also move the players as well. We ended up moving the players as well because keeping the whole thing stationary with just the backgrounds moving felt a little strange. Didn't feel like you were going anywhere in the game.
Was it a huge challenge to get all the audience working in relationship to the gameplay?
Yeah, it was, to make it feel really satisfying. We wanted to create a distinct link between your performance on stage and the audience. And it took a lot of iteration to get right in terms of how the audience react to your performance and how what you do on the stage affects the audience. And so the characters are on stage, or the enemies that you encounter on stage are almost like resources in terms of how you use them and how you play them off each other affects how the audience feel about your performance. So for example, with some of the big guys later on, we didn't just want to give the big guys more health, because that would actually make them easier to beat in our game, because you'd better smack a big guy around loads of times and raise the audience appreciating
Yeah.
it.
So what's the best way to tackle an enemy like this?
So in this case, your parry will block their attacks when they attack you. So it's all about rhythm and timing. So in the game, you never want to let drop your combo. The higher your combo gets, the better the audience reaction. So when the enemies attack you, you want to block them to keep the chain going, essentially. Which starts to get more and more complicated when there's more and more enemies in this one. So you can also use B, the red guys here throw projectiles at you. You can also use B to counter those.
Just letting you do all the hard work.
So one of the things that really impresses the audience is if we do things as a team. He's died, so he can't.
So what sort of things can we collaborate on and do together?
Well, actually, let me just talk you through this. So essentially, the game's all about impressing the audience, and if you do things in a more dramatic fashion, the audience are more entertained. So this is one example of something you can do to impress this guy, Jimmy Ricketts. So the most dramatic way to finish this scene is to defeat all of the minions and defeat the leader at the end. So we don't have to do that, but if we do that, it wins the favour of the audience, essentially. And there's 3 of these kind of audience challenges, actually, in each play. So some of the things that we can do together are throw enemies back and forth between each other is one thing to do. So the throw is quite a useful tool in the play, and the parry as well. That allows you to keep stringing chains of moves together between different enemies. he's just crawling off stage to take part in the next scene there.
Yeah, so these are supporting characters, these are background actors, so
Yeah.
they double up on roles?
Exactly. Well, yes, they do. Yeah. So I mean, essentially, the Baron and Scampwick are playing themselves in the play. Everyone else you see are actors and stagehands that they have employed for the production. So at the moment we're seeing mainly human enemies, but later in the game there's all kinds of monstrous constructions, costumes, as they've tried their best to realise some of the demons the Baron's encountered on stage.
So you're actually beating up jobbing actors?
Exactly.
As if life as an actor isn't hard enough already.
So you've just activated your Showstopper move.
Okay.
I'll do mine as well. Essentially, this activates a short period of time where we can impress the audience more. It's like in Rockman when you hit a flare.
Okay.
If we both do that together, then we get quadruple combo points.
So the mood meter is really high. It's almost full now, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if we took out the big guy last again, we get a similar bonus as last time, or does it vary?
It varies actually depending on what the audience asks for. So this guy here is one of the first kind of act bosses in the game. So each act, at the end of each act, there's usually a boss or a finisher, and then at the end of each play, there's a larger boss. So similar to what I mentioned about resources earlier in terms of maximising the way you use the actors and characters on stage to continue your combo, here the smaller enemies that come on are almost like health for you. So because the game is all about the audience meter, beating up the smaller enemies is an easy way to raise that audience meter.
Okay. So what happens if the mood meter drops all the way to 0?
The audience will essentially boo you off the stage, the curtains will
And you have to
close,
restart.
And you'll have to restart.
So there is a fail state of sorts.
Yeah, very much so, yeah. And it actually, later in the game, becomes very difficult to keep the audience on the edge of their seats through the entire performance.
We even got you an achievement. So where to next?
So let's skip a little ahead into the game, and I'll show you a few of the different things. As we were talking about earlier, one of the things that we've tried to do is, raid a great deal of classic literature and that kind of stuff for inspiration, but also really make the most of the fact that it is a production, and it's meant to be, or it is the greatest production of its time. So the game's a lot about, there's a lot of set pieces or scenery, or playing off the idea that we're in a theatre is a big part of the game as well. So let's just jump into this one. So yeah, I can jump around a little bit and show you a few
cool.
of the different
Yeah,
things
just a bit of
that we
variety
can
at the end. So whereabouts are we now?
So we are, we've actually just come out of the village of the Damned, which has been invaded by demons, and we are on our way to a castle in the distance. But we've encountered a hedge maze, which is one of the thing that the Baron fears the most.
Why's that? It doesn't like topiary.
So this is one of the audience challenges again. This one is about time, essentially. So one of the most dramatic ways to finish this scene is to beat the hedge maze within the little time limit that we've got at the bottom. Just came back at the end. So actually, it's possible to finish every scene in the game, which is we've just done one scene there. it's possible to do a perfect scene on every scene in the game, which is where you continue the combat all the way through without dropping your
Has anyone in the office achieved this?
Yeah, all the way through the game it's possible. It's actually, for individual scenes, it's not so bad, but when you have to do it through a whole act or play, then it starts getting really challenging.
What would you say the average length of one of the plays is?
So to go through from start to the end without doing any of the unlockable extras or bonus bits, it would probably take about 4 or 5 hours.
Okay.
And then there's a whole meta game based around the characters, which we've actually got fully unlocked characters, so you're not seeing, but the characters level up and learn new moves as you progress through the game. They also collect items, which I'll show you a little bit of in a minute, actually.
What's the little indicator in the bottom right and left-hand corner that's spinning right now?
So that is indicating that we have got a Showstopper challenge open. So just here, on the left there and on the right.
Okay.
Get through the maze in 2 minutes is the one that we're doing at the moment. I'll show you a little bit as well of the charm system.
Okay, great.
So essentially, I think I might need to nab that one. So as you play through the game and complete these challenges, which are all about the audience, you unlock different charms in the game, which you can see here. And equipping those to your character gives you different types of bonuses and allows you to customize your character to your playstyle.
So these are full range of occult items?
Yes, exactly, yeah. So a lot of these you'll get after completing a relevant set of challenges in a play. And these really allowed you to maximize the combos that you get and tailor what you do to your play style. So there's specific charms in here for co-op play. So if you both have them equipped, then you can gain much bigger bonuses for the co-op attacks and that kind of stuff.
So within the fiction of the game, these are things that the Baron has acquired throughout his career that are sat on his shelves at home?
Yes, very much so.
So we're diving down beneath the waves now?
Yes, so this is in play number 3, and this is got a little bit of a taste of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea to it. So we have just acquired a pirate ship and sailed out into the ocean, and the pirate ship has been attacked by squid pirates in the last play. Actors dressed up as squid men, sunk, and we are now at the bottom of the sea in the court of King Neptune.
So what were the other touch points for the art style? Because I kind of, it almost reminds me sometimes like Melee, like kind of early stagecraft for cinema as well. And
yeah, I mean, theatre was a big, like all types of theatre were a big reference for us. The art style was a little bit tricky to get right in the beginning because we wanted the game to look handmade and crafted, as if someone had made these scenes. But by the same token, we didn't want it to look badly handmade. Yeah. So there was kind of a bit of a balancing act there between making it look like things were made off cardboard, but not in the game looks bad way, more that they've been crafted, attempted to be crafted that way. These guys are actually quite
and that extends to the character design as well, because the audience looks quite like paper.
Yeah.
Like
so yeah, we actually went through quite a bit of iteration on how much to deform the characters, that kind of stuff, but So the music is something we also really enjoy putting together in the game. It's got kind of an orchestral soundtrack, and we've tried to work in touches of the locations and scenery in each game. So the London soundtrack actually has kind of the chimes of Big Ben in the background and that kind of stuff.
Is that where we are now?
We are inside Big Ben. Yes.
Oh, wow. And who are these guys? They've got like weird kind of symbols on their gown?
These are cultists who have overtaken London. Or attempted to overtake London. So we've just done a team attack here, which is we both parried that guy at the same time.
Okay.
So we're able to do a double team combo on him.
That's not good, is it? That's never good. That's what you get when you read too much.
Okay. So we're actually quite dangerously close to dying now.
So the best tactic is to take out some of these little guys?
Yeah.
Is that right? Oh no.
Yeah, we actually probably should have saved some.
You can't die while playing your own game, that's just embarrassing, Paul.
Should have saved some of the extras for cannon fodder. So yeah, this is one of the ways that really playing foul play is quite different from a lot of the beat 'em ups on the market, is that you really have to think smartly about how you deal with the scene and how you use or play off the characters on the scene to create sustained interest at all times.
Is it quite an acceptable tactic if you're playing co-op for your partner to go around just beating up the smaller guys?
Yeah, that's actually a very good co-op tactic, is for one person to tank the boss essentially and the other person to keep the audience entertained.
So that was Foul Play. That was great. Thanks for joining us, Paul. When can people get their hands on Foul Play?
So the game's coming out on September 18th on XBLA and Steam.
Great. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot.